are so many hard things about right now, and one of the hardest to me is that our government is not telling us the truth. That's one of the hardest things. There are the physical things that have happened, the difficulties. And one of the hardest things is learning that our government is not telling us the truth. And we know that's not right. We know that's not right. And so we are asking the really good questions. And as people who are bound by a set of values, and truth is surely one of those values, we say this can't be right as we listen to all the other things that happen. And I think what I want to say is it's not new that our government is not telling us the truth. Out of all those stories in the background that are the history that we've heard today, the government didn't tell the truth about what was happening with enslaved people or suffragists or the Irish rebellion, or the government was surely not telling the truth about the banjo players. Whatever it was they were doing, it wasn't right. I mean, you can just look at their reputation and see that it wasn't right. The government didn't tell the truth about the Black Panther Party. 60 years ago this year, the Black Panther Party was founded in Oakland, California by Bobby Seale and Huey Newton. Now, there was a group at University of California, Berkeley, very progressive campus then and now, that were a group of African immigrants, students who had come from Africa to study at this American university, just a few of them, and they formed an Afro study group. And they were a little seed bed, but there weren't very many seeds. And so they went recruiting at some of the other universities, and they went to Merrick College, which used to be Oakland City College, and recruited some of the students there. And Huey Newton and Bobby Seale were two of those students. Now, the African-American students at Merrick College were among the first in their families to have gone to college. Their parents and grandparents were part of the second Great Migration that came out to California, and so they had access to higher education for the first time in their families. And they were reading philosophy, and they were reading political science. And these guys were smart, and the young women who were with them, they were smart. And they were getting a hold of ideas. As people who have been denied access to resources, take a hold of a resource and do something new with it. They were self-identified Marxists, and so they were really looking not only at the race struggle, but very much the class struggle. Who has more and who does not have enough, and what's happening to the people who don't have enough, and that is not fair, and what shall we do about it? They had a 10-point plan, a manifesto, and one of the things that was in their plan, and one of the things they were doing, was feeding people who were hungry. It was mutual aid. They were providing breakfast to hungry kids and teaching them about their rights as human beings. Well, guess what? The government didn't like the government, as we say in Texas, the government didn't like that. I keep blanking on his name. Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover, thank you, said that this was the most, this little organization, there were never a ton of seeds in this seed bed. They were always a small organization. And they were young. They were young adults. J. Edgar Hoover says they're the most dangerous organization in the United States. And so he lied, and he had to squash them. What he did was recruit some people, paid them to go into the group and spy on them. People who were not telling the truth about who they were. They went in and they spied on them, and they went back to Hoover at the FBI and told him what was happening. The FBI put out a lot of propaganda is the idea, it's putting forward an idea to get to a specific end. If I am giving you propaganda, I want you to think one thing. I'm telling you how to think, and I'm turning the truth on its ear. He put out propaganda, and he said that these were really bad folks, that they were dangerous, that they were mean, that they were militant, that they were anti-white. And by their own admission, they were not. They were not anti-white. They were not anti-anybody. They were for self-defense and self-determination. Are you for self-defense and self-determination? Sure. That makes sense for all of us. That's fair. But they were not fair. The government was not fair about them. And guess what? Their reputation is still very much tarnished. Any of you know the film Forrest Gump? Right? There's that scene about the Black Panther Party. And it lifts up all of the stereotypes that still are in the air about what we know about them. And they had an organization in Chicago, and Fred Hampton was killed by the government. And
in his bed.
In his bed, right.
21 years old.
Yeah. So it's a hard thing to hear. It is a hard thing to hear. And what I want us to say is that it's not the first time that things have been hard. And we don't have to hold the hard truth alone. We hold it together.